Hey guys, welcome to Channel 2S. I'm your host, Second Soundwave, and because I am great with time management, it is 10 o'clock and I'm starting the build of the Helmwige Reincar. So in true Channel 2S fashion, as I'm building this kit, I will talk about some upcoming Gunpla news. We're going to start off tonight with the Atlas Gundam, as we have some completely just stock but still stickered up pictures courtesy of Dengeki Hobby. And here we can see the Atlas Gundam as it will appear if you just build it straight out of the box. And as you can see from some of these close-ups here, it's got some good articulation, it's got a good sculpt and all that, but yeah, those yellow stickers are just as bad as you might expect. In fact, there's this one spot here on the back where you literally put a decal over a sticker. So while it does still look like a pretty awesome kit, you're going to have to do some painting on this, although that shouldn't really come as a surprise since, you know, Thunderbolt. Speaking of Thunderbolt, we also have some clearer primer gray prototype images of the Ground Gundam S-Type. And as always, this kit is looking pretty good. Now, there aren't any fancy pose pictures for it this time around just because this is an early prototype and they probably don't want to break it or anything. But at least we can get a pretty good idea of what the sculpt's going to be like. We also have a bunch of totally unpainted pictures of the high-grade Revive/Advanced Evolution Zeta Gundam. And while I am still excited for this kit, it is looking a little bit plainer than I hoped. I'm especially disappointed by the fact that the red stripes on the wings on the back are going to not be molded into the kit. That's kind of a big detail, and I wish they found a way to make that work. And then the reveal of the full accessory loadout for the Zeta Gundam shows that, unsurprisingly, this will, in fact, be a parts former, so not super thrilled about that, but I'm still going to grab one anyways. Next up, we have some more images of the Gundam Vual. Now, I've already seen quite a few pictures of this kit by now, but we do now have a nice action shot of him holding that double-bladed weapon that he just showed off very recently, actually. That's the newest addition to his arsenal that we've seen. Looks pretty nice, although it is just a single piece of plastic from the looks of it. Also got a more neutral standing shot of him and a close-up of his head, both of which will kind of help give you a better idea of what you'll be getting if you just want to get this kit and stock build it with absolutely no kind of painting or modification whatsoever. Next up in this new batch of images, we have the high-grade Universal Sentry Barzam. Now this is going to be the next HGUC release after the Zeta Gundam, and this is another suit from Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, and it's one that I believe we haven't ever gotten any kind of kit of. I don't even believe there was a no grade of this in the original Zeta Gundam line. So it's awesome to see this kit finally making its debut in plastic form, and it's looking pretty awesome. I am actually quite liking this design a lot. From the front and back both, it looks like it has a really solid sculpt, although well, this is very clearly still a painted prototype, so we'll have to wait and see to find out, you know, what'll be stickers on this and what won't be. One area that I have a pretty strong suspicion is going to be probably going to be stickered is the crotch, because there's a little blue circle there for some kind of sensor, and that's either not going to be colored at all or we're going to get a little blue sticker for it. I'm guessing it's probably going to be the latter. But we also have our first action shot of the Barzam, and you know what? It's still looking pretty awesome. Like, this guy is definitely a weird design, but it's the right kind of weird. And I like that. And I want to see more just kind of funky, weird kits. Sometimes those are the most fun kits to build, so that's really cool to see they're kind of bringing that back. Now, there was a Gunpla Expo recently, Gunpla Expo in Hakodate, Japan, and it was technically a Gunpla Expo. They did show off some stuff, but it was pretty much all things we've already seen a million pictures of by now. The only thing they had on display that we hadn't seen a lot of yet was the Gundam Schwartz Ritter, and the one they had there was just kind of standing around, so nothing really new shown off there. But if you do want to see the picture I got of it here, you can go ahead and look at it right now. It should be on the screen and probably has been on the screen for a little while now. And finally, we have two new premium Bandai announcements. The first of these is for the high-grade Universal Sentry Gelgoog Unicorn version. This is a dark green recolor of the standard Gelgoog with the traditional sleeves markings that one would expect to see on a Zeon or Neo Zeon suit from Gundam Unicorn. And it looks like he has a new rifle as well. Now, I will say right now that I'm not a fan of the green they used on this kit. It kind of, you know what it looks like to me? It looks like a very Christmassy green, and it doesn't look like the color that you would expect to see on a mobile suit, and it's definitely not a color I would have expected to see on a Unicorn mobile suit, because Unicorns seem to, when they recolored suits, they seem to generally sort of recolor them into more realistic colors and not less realistic colors, which is kind of what it feels like they did with the Gelgoog. And furthermore, I don't even remember seeing this guy in Unicorn. Like, seriously, the only Gelgoogs I remember seeing in Unicorn were the Desert Gelgoog in Episode 4 and the Re-Gelgoo in Episode 7. And those are the only Gelgoogs I remember seeing across the entirety of Unicorn. So I'm guessing this is maybe just a thing from the novels or the manga or something, but either way, it is a little oddball kit that doesn't have a whole lot of new tooling and is a very welcome addition to the premium Bandai lineup. And joining the Gelgoog Unicorn version is the Zaku 2 FZ Type B Unicorn version, and yes, that is a mouthful. Now this one is a little more drastic in its modifications compared to the Gelgoog. Instead of just being a recolor with a new gun, this guy looks like he still might have some new weapons, but he's also got some new parts on his legs, on the front skirts, on one of the shoulder pads it looks like as well. And basically this seems to be a more space-optimized version of the Zaku 2 SZ, which is pretty cool. And of course it looks like they have changed the color scheme a little bit as well. That's about all I can say about it. It's another pretty simple premium Bandai kit. Of course this one does have some new tooling on it, and I'm glad to see this. And I have also neglected to mention one last new kit reveal that I wanted to talk about, and that is the next wave of Petitegguys. Yep, we're getting more of them. And the colors we're getting in this wave are Cardboard Brown and Primer Gray. Yes, they're getting so lazy with the Petitegguys now, they're literally giving us one that's Primer Gray and Cardboard Brown. I mean, come on, guys. Now, what is kind of fun about these two is that they will come with blank signs that they can hold. So if you want to make some, protester bear guys, you can go right ahead and do so. And I suppose some fun could be had with these, depending on what you decide to write on the signs. But for the most part, they're just another pair of kind of irrelevant Petitegguys to pad out what is presumably one of Bandai's better selling lines, considering they won't seem to stop making these. Okay, so after that mouthful of news, it is time to move on to the torso build for the Helwige Reincar. So we're going to start by putting these two pieces together, attaching them to this, capping over the other side of that with this, and then we're going to attach these little gray cables into this hole and this hole. Nope. My bad, I had that completely backwards. It's this hole, and then this hole. Now we're going to take this piece and pop a poly cap into it, and cap it off. And we're going to make two of those. And then we're going to plug these shoulder sections into the side of the body so that they can swing forward if desired. And here we have the Valkyrie type torso frame. And so we have something to put onto that frame. We're going to stick this piece into here, and then stick this piece onto here, and we're going to take this section and clip it over those little pegs on the back of the frame, which gives his backpack a little bit of articulation, which will probably come into play later. And then we're going to take these pieces and clip them over the sides of the torso, just like that. And we're going to pop a little bitty poly cap down here so the waist has something to plug into. Then this piece goes on here, and then this piece, with its thankfully unobtrusive sticker applied, goes on top of it. And then this little piece gets slid down from the top. And finally, the collar piece goes down over everything else. And as much as I would like to continue on this build, it is getting pretty late, so unfortunately I will have to cut the video short right here. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. And if you're new to Channel 2S, basically I make all sorts of Gunpla related content, from news to reviews to build logs, all sorts of stuff. And if that sounds cool to you, be sure to subscribe. And as always, I'm Second Soundwave, and I'll see you next time.